Ugh, I'm drinking orange juice and eating untoasted bread. It can only mean one thing. It's election season. In an election, a campaign needs to use their money to pay for a lot of things. Paying their staffers, transportation, advertisements, a lot of advertisements. One way politicians raise money in their campaigns has become a talking point in this election. PACs and super PACs. Let's go draw that out.
So welcome to the world of paper. A PAC is an organization, quote, whose purpose is to raise and distribute campaign funds to candidates seeking political office. PACs are generally formed by corporations, labor unions, trade associations, or other organizations or individuals, and channel the voluntary contributions they raise to candidates for elective offices. Basically, the job of a PAC is to help candidates by providing them with funding that they themselves did not raise. Think of them as a benefactor with a potential vested interest in their election to office. The first ever PAC was actually created in the 40s in support of the re-election of FDR. And now in our futuristic society of 2020, we have plenty of PACs to go around. A lot of them are companies like AT&T, Comcast, and Blue Cross Blue Shield. Some of them are based on unions, such as the Transport Workers Union Political Contributions Committee, International Union of Operating Engineers Political Education Committee, and the Service Employees International Union Committee on Political Education. Though some of the PACs can get a bit strange. For example, the Taco Political Action Committee, a PAC for Taco Bell, and the Talkin' Smack PAC.
I don't know either.
But what separates a PAC from the other widely used term in this election? A super PAC. In a word, limitations. While PACs are limited on how much money they can raise, super PACs don't, though a PAC can directly coordinate with the campaign offices they are supporting. A super PAC cannot do this. This system, only proved by a court decision in 2010, has become a main factor in the raising of funds in the political sphere. Super PACs, in their short existence, have become a source of controversy. While the main restriction on super PACs have been their lack of communication with campaigns they support, many super PACs are run by donors and former staffers. While they technically aren't part of the main campaign anymore, or never were, the fine line between the two becomes extremely muddied. This is why PACs and super PACs become such a huge talking point. Campaigns may, through loophole after loophole, actually have unlimited funds to pump into an election coming from quote-unquote outside sources. In this election, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders made a point that he rejects super PAC money and has called out other candidates such as Pete Buttigieg for their use of them. In this election, money has not just become a source that keeps the campaign machine running, but a talking point for candidates such as Sanders. Others, though, such as new Democratic player Michael Bloomberg, have taken a different strategy. Making an integral aspect of his advertising that he has dipped to his own pockets to fund his campaign. So, using Bloomberg as a case study, let's look at how money can completely change a political race. Quick background. Bloomberg is currently running for president under the Democratic Party. In the past, he has served as the mayor of New York, and has been both a registered Republican and a registered Democrat. He is also very, very wealthy, with a net worth of over $65 billion. To put that in perspective, the median net worth of an American household is $97,300. That's over 668,000 times the median household. Currently, national polling suggests that the top Democrat candidates are Bernie, Biden, Bloomberg, Warren, and Buttigieg, placing respectively. Bernie entered the race in February of 2019, the same month Warren joined in. Biden and Buttigieg then threw their metaphorical hats into the ring in the month of April. Then, 7 months later, and only 3 months ago, Bloomberg joined in November of 2019. He is currently in third place and the second highest funded candidate at $200 million. 99.99% of his money coming from himself. This meteoric rise can be attributed to his heavy use of advertisements in both traditional and very new means. Bloomberg, thus far, has spent over $230 million on both digital and television advertisements. If you turn to the Super Bowl, you probably saw Bloomberg's face plastered on your TV. That costed him $11 million. Around the same price as Buttigieg's entire television campaign. Bloomberg has also used some stranger outlets for advertisements, like meme pages. Accounts like Grape Juice Boys and The Funny Introvert, and even the infamous Gary, have been running sponsor posts in support of the candidate. All the accounts I just mentioned have millions and millions of followers, many of those followers way outside Bloomberg's typical demographics. Put simply, Bloomberg is flooding the market with unprecedented amounts of self-funding, shooting him to, or at least near, the top of many polls.
Which brings me back to the entire point of this video. I'm not trying to sway you towards one candidate or the other. I'm trying to make you aware of the impact that money has on our politics. It can take a person with almost no presidential buzz and catapult them into third place on some national polls in just 3 months. I'm not endorsing or going against Bloomberg's plan of self-funding or supporting someone like Bernie's plan of using small donors as his main source of income for his campaign.
Hi, it's Editing Kyle here, and it's 9:47, and I was editing this, and I thought I should add something. While I agree with what I just said, I think it's important to note inherent biases anyone may have when making political content. So in this Democratic primary, I will most likely be supporting Sanders, and I'm not a huge fan of Bloomberg myself. So while I just said, like, this isn't a knock on either candidate, and I still agree with that, I think it's important to note where my political stances lie, so it can better inform your opinion of the video. Okay, back to the video.
Bloomberg's case is just one of thousands of stories of US politicians using money for political gain. It's typical for a politician to do that, so this isn't a knock against Bloomberg for using his money. It's just a great example to see how money can play such an important role in our political system. So as an educated voting populace, you have to stay aware on how money may be affecting your opinions when you get into the voting booth in November. So, stay educated, and where'd the rest of my bread go?